Hello, music fans. You're watching Death by Unicorn, where we talk about metal, rock, and prog music. And this is New Music's Alive in 2025. I'm going to talk about 4 new albums that came out on November 28th, 2025, and give my quick first impressions of them. I'll talk about them in my order of preference, starting with Moron Police and their album Pachinko. This is the 4th album by this Norwegian progressive rock band, and it's symphonic progressive rock, progressive pop rock, with alternative, electronic, and even some country and metal influences in there. I'm giving this one a near masterpiece rating. I loved the singles I heard ahead of time for this, and this is actually the first album by Moron Police that I've listened to in full, and it's an amazing near masterpiece. So I'll definitely be diving into the entire Moron Police discography after this. The vocals remind me of Ross Jennings from Haken. Lyrically, the album has a concept. They wrote it after the untimely death of their friend and drummer Thor Omlin Peterson, and it's a concept album about a guy who turns into a sentient pachinko machine in Tokyo. Now, I'm not super familiar with a pachinko machine, but from Wikipedia I learned that it's a mechanical game originating in Japan, used as an arcade game and for gambling, and it's comparable to that of the slot machine in the Western world. It's low stakes, low strategy gambling. So lyrically, the album has a Japanese vibe to it, and it mentions Japanese locations. Drums on the album are performed by Billy Reimer from the Dillinger Escape Plan, which is a band I love and a drummer that I love as well. And it's a bit of a surprising and unexpected choice for this band, is here he plays in a much more straightforward way than he does with the Dillinger Escape Plan with their crazy, intense, spastic, brutal mathcore style, but he's still doing incredibly tasteful and impressive stuff on the drums. And musically, this mixes pop, prog rock, metal, country, and 80s synth music to make a unique and spectacular sound. So if you like bands like Moon Safari, I think you'll like this, as it's similarly catchy, grandiose, epic, memorable progressive rock music. That sounds good. Check out Pachinko by Moron Police. Next up, I've got Dream Theater with Quarantieme live at Paris. I don't usually talk about many live albums, but I had to mention this since I love Dream Theater so much. Of course, they're an amazing American band that popularized progressive metal, and I'm putting this in my excellent tier. This is their first live album after the return of Mike Portnoy to the band. The set list here is great. It features tracks from across their career. Everyone in the band sounds great. Some people sometimes give James Labrie, the vocalist, a hard time, but he sounds pretty good here, though I will admit he does sound a bit better on the studio albums than he does live. Now, I was close to calling this a near masterpiece because I love these bands and these songs so much, but then I thought to myself, do I really prefer any of these live versions of these tracks over any of the studio versions? And I have to be honest and say no. The studio tracks are better, but that's usually my preference. I'm not a big live album guy anyways. I almost always prefer studio versions with only a few small exceptions. But if you're a Dream Theater fan, you definitely have to check out Quarantieme Live à Paris by Dream Theater. Next up, I have Dyssidia with Deeper Wells of Meaning, the second album by this Australian progressive metal band. I'm also putting this in my excellent tier. I've never heard an album by Dyssidia before, but this is excellent prog metal with both harsh and clean vocals and great guitar playing and composition. So check it out if you like the sounds of that. That's Deeper Wells of Meaning by Dyssidia. And last on my list for this video is Mendel with an EP, La Séance Nocturne, another French title like the Dream Theater one. And this is an artist from the Netherlands. It's instrumental progressive metal with some djent and some symphonic and neoclassical influences. I'm putting this in my very good tier. This is a solo project of Dutch guitarist Mendel Beige de Liege. I don't know if I pronounced his name correctly. Apologies if not. But I thought his last album was very good, and I enjoyed the early single from this one called Be Gentle. So I was looking forward to this, and it's another very good release from Mendel. What a great guitar player and composer he is. I would certainly like it better with some strong vocals over the top, but it's impressive nonetheless, and that's just my bias towards preferring vocal music. But if you like instrumental prog metal, you should definitely check out Mendel with La Séance Nocturne. And that's it for my first impressions of these four new albums that came out on November 28th, 2025. What do you think of these albums? Let me know down in the comments. And did anything else come out recently that you think I might enjoy? Also let me know. And if you like metal, rock, and prog music, you've come to the right place. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I post my first impressions of new releases every week as they come out. And we're approaching the end of the year, so I'll probably have some great year-end content coming soon. I'm thinking about doing top albums by genre, album of the year, like a top 10 prog rock albums of the year, top 10 prog metal, top 10 metalcore, top 10 black metal, top 10 post-hardcore. Maybe I'll lump alternative and indie rock together. I need to decide if I want to group technical death metal and melodic death metal together as just death metal. So still some logistics for me to figure out and need to make the lists, but I hope to have a lot of awesome content coming soon for the year end. So if you want to see that, definitely stay tuned and peace out.